Okay, can we have your attention, please? Your attention, please. Thank you very much. Well, I'd like to start to have our speakers make their comments and remarks. We'll start with Brigadier General Thomas J. Sellars, retired. Brigadier General Thomas J. Sellars currently holds the position of Assistant General Executive Officer, Military Division, Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Throughout his career, he has held an assortment of important command and staff positions within the National Guard, to include Commander Battery 1.
Let me.
All right. If you like it. Go to it, General.
I always get nervous when everybody starts reading my bio. I always get nervous because my father was an artilleryman too, and the first half of my life sounds like his, and I'm not quite sure where the story goes. So, listen, I just wanted to say thank you very much for the opportunity to be here, Dolly. It's such a great organization. Gold Star mothers and the serving military members have such a connection, and something that I sincerely hold very dear in my heart. So everything you do, I want you to know that we pay attention to it, we respect your efforts and the amount of work that you put into this. And if there's any way at all that the Massachusetts National Guard can continue to foster the relationship that we've had with you over the last couple of years, I want to just encourage you to put the thumb on me. All right? Thank you very much.
I like that format. All right, Lieutenant Colonel Stephen F. Egan. Sir, a few remarks, if you will.
I just want to say I appreciate the invitation to be here today. It's truly an honor to be able to be with people who have sacrificed so much, and we just want to honor your sacrifice and the sacrifice of your loved ones. And also, as Garrison Commander of Fort Devens, I've talked with Dolly. We want to build and expand that partnership so we can better support these events. So I want to thank you for that and look forward to working with you and seeing you in the future. Thank you.
Coleman, Secretary of Veteran Services. I'm sure everybody knows him. Sir?
Thanks. Thank you so much. It's great to be here. Thank you. And Dolly, thank you for all you're doing. You've been an outstanding president this year. And I can tell you, Ms. Sullivan has been on the phone with me many times, coming into our office, meeting on different benefits and different ways we can improve serving our Gold Star families. So for all the work you've done this year, thank you so much. It's really appreciated. I know Peggy Griffin from the Gold Star Wives is here as well. Thank you, Peggy, for being here. She's also been a great advocate. And I see past National Commander of the American Legion, Jake Comer's here as well. Thank you, Jake, for being here. Current still sitting commander of the DAV, State Department Commander, Anita Reed, the first woman state commander in the DAV's history in Massachusetts. Thank you. And there's a lot of good things going on, but you know, as you in this room know more so than anyone, we are still engaged in very dangerous and difficult operations. Last week, Massachusetts actually lost another son, Michael Darling, 24 years old, from Dalton, who was killed in Afghanistan. So our thoughts and prayers go out to his family as well. It is, you know, you wouldn't know it sometimes from reading the newspapers and from watching the TV, but we are still engaged in combat operations. And it is very difficult and dangerous work that is being done. And in many cases, it's being done by men and women from Massachusetts here who are National Guard and reservists. And these are folks who have repeatedly left their families, left their friends, left their children to go over and do multiple deployments on our behalf. General, the troops in the Massachusetts National Guard, and Lieutenant Colonel, and I'll speak a little bit about the Major briefly, but thank you for the sacrifices and service you've made on our behalf. It is very much appreciated, and I assure you will never be forgotten here in Massachusetts. And then finally, it's just great to be here with Representative Naughton, and I can't let this occasion pass without telling you just what a champion I'll call him Major today, but in his day job, he's Representative Naughton. Hank was the chair of the Veterans Affairs Committee at the State House for several years prior to taking his new chairmanship at Public Safety. But there is no better friend to veterans in the Commonwealth and the fact that he's sitting in that chair, the fact that he wears the uniform, the fact that he's deployed to both Iraq and Afghanistan brings a first-person perspective to state government. And he's been an incredible ally and someone who deeply cares about veterans and veterans issues and has been a great friend to us. So to Hank and to Ellen, thank you so much for all you do. And again, I just can't say enough to thank you for your sacrifices of the folks that are in this room. It is humbling to be in your presence. It is an honor to be in your presence. And I echo the General's remarks. If there's anything we can do to support you, put both thumbs on me because we'll make it happen. Thank you.
Representative Harold Naughton Jr., sir.
Jim, thank you. Dolly and Jim and all my dear friends in this room who I've come to know and love over the years, thank you for your continued service and your continued sacrifice. You do honor to the spirit of those who are only with us in spirit and in memory today and in our hearts. It means so much to carry this on, that you set that example in a country that those of us who return to sometimes find wanting for any level of commonality of purpose or shared sacrifice. You drive the example home. And it is all about family and the sacrifice, both for those that deploy and do come back, the families that stay behind, and those that don't come back. I was honored in September of 2011 to get the chance to deploy to Afghanistan with the 4th Infantry Division. And the sergeant in the back of the room is also an alumni of 4ID, whose motto is First at Normandy. And because this all ties into family, I mentioned this today. My dad, who many of you know was a medic in the Second World War, went ashore with the 4th Infantry Division on Utah Beach on June 6th of 1944. And again, you can imagine what he would have seen that day, but 4th Infantry Division was the first seaborne unit to go ashore after the 82nd and 101st dropped in the night before. And to carry that on and be able to deploy to Afghanistan with 4ID meant a tremendous amount to me, because it's all about family. And the families who stay behind, who support the troops that are deployed, that you do so much for to support. You drive through your loss, and you don't think of yourselves. You think of the families of deployed service members that are still out there. Now, I have to tell you a story. When I came home, and it's great to have my wife Ellen with me, who you'll see a little bit in a couple minutes, but you know, she said to me when I got home, she goes, "I think you're going deaf." And I said, "What?" She said, "I think you're going deaf. I want you to go to the VA and get your ears checked. You've been up in those Black Hawks, all kinds of loud noises going off around you. I think you're going deaf." And I said, "I think you're going deaf. You're not going to tell me. You don't listen to me." So I go to the VA and I got my ears checked, and the guy said, "Well, I'll call you up with the results later on." But I said, "Doc, I think my wife's the one who's going deaf." And he said, "Go home tonight and stand 20 feet behind her in the kitchen and say, 'What's for dinner?'" So I did that. And I was 20 feet behind her in the kitchen, and I said, "Elle, what's for dinner?" And she didn't answer me. So I walk up 15 feet behind her. I say, "Ellen, what's for dinner?" And she didn't answer me. Then I walk up 10 feet behind her and say, "Ellen, what's for dinner?" And she didn't answer me. And then I walk up 5 feet behind her and say, "Elle, what's for dinner?" And she turned around and said, "God damn it, for the 4th time, it's lasagna." So I don't know who's deaf or not. Listen, Dr. Martin Luther King told us that we begin to die a little when we don't stand up for what's important. Don't stand up for what's most important. And I know what you do every day is what's most important. And it's important to us. And whatever we can do in the legislature and in state government with tremendous leaders like Coleman, and the general, and our military leaders like the colonel, it's our honor to be in your presence today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, I have to tell you, you started a precedent, General, and it seemed to gain momentum there at this time. So you're going to have to bear with me. Our next speaker is the keynote speaker, and her name is Jennifer DeLuca. She does an amazing job out there at Boston, Roxbury Fisher House. So I have a few comments, so bear with me. Fisher House Boston is located at the Veterans Administration Boston Healthcare Medical Facility in West Roxbury. It was the 46th Fisher House to be built in the United States. Fisher House Foundation donates comfort homes built on the grounds of major military and VA medical centers. These homes enable family members to be close to a loved one at the most stressful, difficult, perplexing, and distressing time during hospitalization for an unexpected illness, disease, or injury. Fisher House management and staff are solely committed to helping those who have served our country. They believe these men and women are national treasures. On a personal note, Jennifer, representatives for the Department of Massachusetts Military Order of the Purple Heart, who we have today, a contingent, to include myself, attended a luncheon at Fisher House. Upon arrival, we were graciously met at the facility entrance and with the executive director and other staff members. After a brief introduction, we were given a tour of the facility as we listened to heroic stories of sacrifice and miracles, always keeping in mind not to violate the confidentiality by not revealing names or medical status of those who are current residents at Fisher House. I could not help but becoming overwhelmed at a point, entertaining and entering one room at a time, being chaperoned by these extraordinary individuals who seemed to be something very special. I would say what began to emerge in my interpretation like protectors, keepers, our guardians of our veterans and their families. I wondered how they composed themselves on a daily basis. Patient after patient, comforting family after family, confronting the unknown dark side, unexpected twists and turns of anticipated expectations through recovery or not. Is it good or is it bad news? These remarkable and phenomenal individuals do this 24/7, 365 days a year. Miraculously, they do it with compassion, understanding, respect, and dignity. As the executive director spoke about the overwhelming use of Fisher House and the need for more beds, more rooms, I thought to myself, my God, these custodians are truly the guardian angels of our time. Massachusetts can rest and be assured our veterans and their families are being and taken care of during their stay at Fisher House. It is my distinct honor, pleasure to introduce to you our keynote speaker and one of the lead guardian angels at the Fisher House Boston, Executive Director Jennifer DeLuca.
Thank you. Thank you. Dolly, thank you for inviting me to speak here today. I am truly humbled and honored all at the same time for being here. I could go on about that for hours, having my best friend be a Gold Star mother. I have empathy and understanding for what you all have gone through. I love my job. I love it more than anything. I say that I was truly picked to do this, and there isn't enough that I can do for our men and women in uniform. We truly do believe men and women who wear our uniform and serve our country are our greatest national treasures. So we thank all of you. I'll tell you about Fisher House and what we do. Fisher House is a home away from home for our military families while a loved one is receiving in-house treatment at one of our medical centers. To go back, I'll share a story that Zachary Fisher, the nephew, Ken Fisher, the nephew of Zachary Fisher, had shared with me. The way Fisher Houses started was in 1991 at a Naval Medical Center in Bethesda. The Fishers were walking through the parking lot along with another couple, and they saw a young man getting ready in his car around 5:30 in the morning. He was brushing his teeth with a bottle of water and getting himself together. They walked over and asked him what he was doing because you can't be sleeping in a car at a medical facility. The young man explained that he had spent his last dollar getting to where he had to be because his wife was injured. It was 1 year to that date that the first house was built in Bethesda. So that's the starting of the Fisher House. We now have 60 Fisher Houses standing, one in Landstuhl, one in England that just opened, and one at Dover Air Force Base to greet those who are coming back. It's incredible. In 2010, Fisher House Boston opened its doors. We are a 20-room, state-of-the-art facility, and it has to be comparable to a 5-star hotel because our military are our greatest national treasures, and we have to take care of their families in such respect. For the past year, we have been full to capacity at our Fisher House in West Roxbury, putting 5 to 10 families a week up at local hotels right down the street, providing all transportation, because we would never say no to any family member that needs to be with their loved one. Since opening our doors in 2010, we have served over 1,500 families, and that doesn't account for the recurring them coming back, but 1,500 families have come through our door, and we have saved our military families over $1.1 million. We provide transportation, food, hotels, anything that goes above and beyond what the DoD can provide for our men and women during that middle time after somebody has been injured or if you're sick. We serve anyone who has served. If you are World War II right up through today, if you have served us, it is our honor and our privilege to serve you. The things people don't understand, they think all we do is sit in West Roxbury and take care of those families. I'm going to share a story with you. I am the only employee for the Fisher House Boston. We have rules that all funds raised, only 3% of everything raised can go to administrative fees. Everything else goes right back to our military and their families. So I am never off the clock. I work 24/7, and I do it as many hours. If you need me, I am here for you. The night of the marathon, I received a phone call at 11 o'clock at night, and it was a young family who said, "I need your help," and I answered the phone, and they were shocked that somebody answered the phone, and they said, "We need your help." And I said, "What can I do?" thinking that they were flying someone in or something was happening. And the woman said, "My 2 daughters were severely injured at the marathon today, and I need to get there to them. I live in Washington." And I said, "Well, why would I help you? Can you explain a little further? What are your needs?" And she said, "My husband is in the Air Force." And the second she said that, I was up at my desk figuring out arrangements to get her here. They just went home after spending a month at a hospital here in Boston. I have permission to say their name. Their daughter, Erica, has lost her leg in the bombing, and their other daughter, Nicole, will never walk again. We helped them through the process and let them be right there because we truly believe a family's love is the best medicine. These men and women are our greatest national treasures. I can't say it enough. The pride I feel, I say to everyone, I was a young girl from Dover, went to school for social work, and now I swim in a pool with people that I hold in the highest level of respect. I want to share with you something that a general who is a very good friend gave to me one day, and every day I read it, honestly, and it's why I do what I do every day for our men and women. It's entitled, "So What Will Matter? How Will the Value of Your Days Be Measured?" What will matter is not what you brought, but what you built. Not what you got, but what you gave. What will matter is not your success, but your significance. What will matter is not what you learned, but what you taught. What will matter is every act of integrity, compassion, courage, or sacrifice that enriched, empowered, or encouraged others to emulate your example. What will matter is not your competence, but your character. What will matter is not how many people you knew, but how many people will feel a lasting loss when you're gone. What will matter is not your memories, but the memories that live in those who loved you. What will matter is how long you will be remembered, and by whom and for what. Living a life that matters doesn't happen by accident. It's not a matter of circumstance, but of choice. Choose to live a life that matters. I say that to everyone because I have made that choice, and every day moving forward, as long as I have a breath in me, I will do something every day for a veteran that matters. So I thank you for your support. If you want to get involved and come and see the Fisher House, I'm available at any time anyone would like to come through. And my heart, honestly, goes out to every one of you. Thank you. Dolly, thank you.
We now have several presentations, one of which is Jake Coleman, past National Commander of American Legion, presentation to the Gold Star Mothers. Sir, it's a pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Dolly, we appreciate your service, and as President of the Gold Star Mothers, two great friends in the legislature, Coleman and Representative Naughton. We couldn't work without them. And to this young lady, we offer our great respect and for all the work you do. The dedication is in your voice. And I know my post in Hyde Park was happy to raise $15,000 for that Fisher House there, and we continue. And to other distinguished guests at the dais, I also recognize at all times in the audience Nikki Likely, a longtime friend from Newton, and certainly without Florence Johnson, who got me here. And Florence, who many people should know, is not only a Gold Star mother, but in World War II she was a veteran in her own right, and she's a past commander of the Bunker Hill Post in Charlestown. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on behalf of the American Legion in this state. We have our state commander with us, Steve Silvestri, a past National Vice Commander, Mark Avis, a past Department Commander, Jimmy Army, and his good friend, Mr. Croto, who's winning all the prizes. Another past state commander of the American Legion. A great appreciate, Joe. Thank you. Nice being here. But I finally made it. I don't know why. I knew it was Shrewsbury because I sent out all the tickets, and I ended up in Sturbridge today. So a ride back from Sturbridge to Shrewsbury, and we just made it. Dolly, on behalf of the American Legion, we would like to present you a check for $250 for whatever you wish to do with it.
Thank you very much.
God bless you all. Many years ago, the Gold Star Mothers and the 100% disabled veterans got their stipend, which they deserved. I think that time about $1,000 went up to $1,500. There's another bill in the legislature to match that again for the Gold Star mothers. Get behind it, contact your local officials, and make sure that that bill goes through, because they deserve everything that they'll ever receive from the veterans of this nation. Thank you very much.
God. Leo Agnew, Department Commander, Military out of the Purple Heart. You're making a presentation?
I'd like to present this Purple Heart Remembrance Pin for the Department of Mass Military out of Purple Heart.
Thank you very
I would
much.
like all Gold Star mothers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Here we have another presentation. American Gold Star Mothers. This certificate is awarded to Florence Johnson in recognition of your 90th birthday. Thank God, my goodness. It is only in the later years that the full flowering of the finest essence of the human spirit becomes a reality. By Edward L. Burtz. Mary Byers, American Gold Star Mothers National President. Date May 1st, 2013, will be presented by Dolly Sullivan. Finally, I'm honored to introduce, representing the Gold Star Mothers, Department of Massachusetts and Rhode Island, President Dolly Sullivan with closing remarks.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. It is a privilege for us to be here with you, and we always love to be with our veterans organizations. We have a general bond. We all know that. The American Legion is represented, the Purple Heart is represented, the VFW, the DAV, our Gold Star wives, our Blue Star mothers, whose their children are actively serving, and our General Sellars and Lieutenant Colonel Egan, sorry, and you are just a delight. Okay, so Jennifer, thank you so very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Coleman, you know how we feel about you. You're awesome. No. We love Coleman. There is nothing, when you call Coleman, he answers the phone. He's always there for us. There's nothing that we can't ask for. And Representative Naughton is a fellow Clintonian, so we know he's the best, and we appreciate it. I really can't thank you enough for coming today. I've been a Gold Star mother now for 8 years, and I have to say that this is the year that I have been the most pleased to be a member of the American Gold Star Mothers. For the first time this year, we had a fundraiser, and I would like to thank Karen Lonesberry. It was her brainchild. Really pushed it forward. The reason we decided to do a fundraiser is the last few years we've only had like $200 to give to each of the hospitals, which just doesn't seem like enough. There's so much that they need, and there's so much that we feel we should and could give if we worked at it. So the fundraiser happened on April 20th. It was called a Star-Spangled Evening. April 12th, I'm sorry. April 20th was a run for my son, so I'm sorry, I got that date in my head. But we raised enough to give $900 to our hospitals, our 2 soldiers' homes, 3 shelters for veterans, and the Fisher House. And so we have some people here today that we can present the checks to, and some of the places aren't represented here today. But if I could ask Ellen Naughton is works in counseling, I believe, here at the Fisher House, at the shelter. So Ellen, we have 2 checks for you. One is for the Worcester facility.
Thank you.
And one is for the Shrewsbury facility. Okay, this is the Shrewsbury facility. Isn't it a nice place? And Karen, if you could come forward. Okay, Jennifer, I guess you're going to stand now. And Jennifer DeLuca is obviously the director at Fisher House in Boston. And we have a check for you as well, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I meant to get this over here. Okay.
Thank you.
And for being our speaker here today, we have another little gift for you.
Thank you
Okay.
very much, Dolly.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. And Bob Hannaford, are you here?
Yep.
Bob is from the New England Veterans Shelter, the homeless veterans. We have all of our meetings down at their shelter. They are very gracious to us. And we're huggers. We're the tree lovers. Hug a tree.
What town are you in?
Boston.
Boston.
A little town.
I just can't thank you enough. We weren't sure how this would turn out today, how many people would show up. This is our way of thanking you for the support that we get from you, and we hope that we will all continue to work together. We all have a good purpose. It's working for our veterans. I also see someone else that I would like to recognize. Joe, would you stand up, Joe? Do you mind? Joe represents Rolling Thunder. Rolling Thunder and the vets, they fought, we ride. I don't know if Andrew's here. No, are people that we need to really have a round of applause for and thank. They are veterans themselves. They are veterans themselves, and they are the ones who work hard, put fundraisers together to take care of our veterans and also to take care of some of the veterans' memorials. Normally, we have the Massachusetts 54th, and they have been wonderful for years. I called WPI this year and asked if they would send a contingent because my son was commissioned at WPI. And so I have a closeness to that. And I hope that you will forgive me that we didn't invite the 54 Mass, because I know you people, General Sellars, are very good about helping us with that. I just felt that I would like to have the ROTC, and I would like to thank them for coming today. I appreciate it.
In closing, we'd like to have Santina Raymond, second vice president of the organization, to come forward and give the benediction.
Heavenly Father, as we live this gathering, we ask that you bless us and protect us as we go on our way. We ask your guidance as we go from day to day. We ask that you watch over all our servicemen and women in harm's way, and we pray that it will be your will to bring them home safe to their families. We pray that mankind will work for peace in the world. Amen.
We'll now have the retirement of the colors. Sergeant Blanchard.
Present. On. Order. On. Left. Peace.
We have a large round of applause for the WPI ROTC cadet. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the 68th American Gold Star Mothers Department of Massachusetts and Rhode Island 2013 Annual Convention. Thank you very much.